Welcome back. Up next in the fight to make it out of Group B is a battle for the Atlantic between Fnatic and Cloud9. The last time these teams met, Cloud9 came back and won with a huge pentakill courtesy of balls on Darius. Fnatic had an underwhelming week 1. We'll have to see if they took advantage of their time off to retool for week 2.
What I want to see out of Fnatic is control Huni a little bit more. He's being too aggressive. You know, the two best top laners in the tournament, Someday and Marin, have really stood out because they play in a way that they don't need to get a lead in the first 10 minutes of the game. They'll be very patient and just get one solo kill at around 14 minutes and then just crack the game open. And that's what Huni needs to do. We know that he can take over. And right now you see how Marin, at this time, he has one lead and the game's already over. Same right here with Someday. We know Huni's at the same level of these guys. We know he can play like this. We've seen him do the same thing at MSI. Take a breather, relax. That's what I hope this time off did for them. And I think they'll just be right on track because some of the draft errors they had will be easily solved as long with the safe play.
Yeah, along with that patience comes, you know, the faith in your teammates. Febivin and Reckless, who have been performing very well to carry the team. So there's definitely an element of perhaps, you know, stepping off the gas, letting them take over and do what they do best.
That's exactly what Cloud9 does, though. You look at Balls in the top lane, he's the exact opposite of the way Huni is right now. He's extremely patient, and he'll even fall behind in games, but then he waits for his team to actually back him up. How many times in this tournament have we seen him get off to a deficit in CS, but then his team bails him out? Incarnation and Sneaky finally rescue him. He gets 2 kills, he gets a wave and starts freezing it, and then Huni has to break it, is what happened last time. Just so many situations go wrong at the start for Cloud9, but they always bail Balls out, but he's waiting for that. He's not impatient and tries to dive.
Yeah. And we can see that Fnatic is drafted Yasuo, Alistar, Gragas, and Orianna. And I think this is simply all-in team composition. But we have to notice that C9's support, Lamination, is one of the best Morgana supports in the world. And I think it is really good for him to pick this champion when there is all-in champion with all the flash initiations, and it is all countered by a single E by Morgana. And what Serene said, Boss is always tend to fall behind and wants to have help from the teammates. I think Fnatic can grab this point and pick Twisted Fate. Why? If you are tended to fall behind, that means the minion waves is coming to the tower, and Twisted Fate can help the top laner to kill Boss easily.
Well, if they're going to be picking Twisted Fate, that means they're picking it into Incarnation, who's been playing pretty exceptionally this tournament. You know, the second half of his season was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, and then he started picking up Veigar and Azir and having these types of champions that are able to siege extraordinarily well and catch people out, but has so much damage. And then they always pair this with the Darius top, and you have to run through that to get to them. So far, they've been running pretty much the same composition. Darius top, Lee Sin jungle, Azir Veigar mid, Tristana AD carry, and then Morgana support. And then the question for me is, does that make Cloud9 too predictable? Are they CLG number 2? But I don't think so. Well, because they have dynamic shot calling.
This is the match that we get to see if their champion pools run deep at all, because Fnatic is going to be on the blue side, which means that they have the liberty of not banning Gangplank, Mordekaiser, and apparently Tahm Kench as well. So we get to see who are they going to target. You know, Darius has been the most played champion for Balls. Azir for Incarnation has been pretty crucial. I think they should focus Incarnation for their bans just because we haven't seen more out of him, and he's been so critical with those 2 picks. There really aren't any other champions in the game that do the same thing that Azir and Veigar do to such a powerful siege.
Now, we've talked a lot about how a team should attack C9 strategies from week 1, but the hope has to be that C9 will have also developed new strategies. They've had a week now to say, all right, we would be coming into week 2 predictably if we came in with that same fast turret pushing siege strat. Is there, with the tools they have at their disposal in their different players, do they have other strategies that they can stretch for?
I feel like this sounds like a broken record, but the shot calling has been very bold, and that's taken a lot of their opponents off guard, particularly the Baron calls from Cloud9 very early on. Catch their opponents out of sync, out of rotation. So a lot of times they'll send people bottom and think, all right, you know what, you can catch that wave for 30 seconds. They're not going to do Baron. That's kind of too risky of a call. bam, Cloud9's on it. They're doing the Baron. It doesn't even matter if the other jungler is there. They will go for it. They're playing how we expected LPL teams to play, and that is very refreshing to watch. And I think that that's really what's giving them the edge in all of these games.
I want to move ahead to predictions only because I want to get your guys' reasoning behind your picks. So, NA greater than EU, EU greater than NA. Once again, Crumbs, we're starting with you coming this way.
I'm going to have to go with Cloud9, obviously, for this one. But I do think that it's going to be a much closer matchup, and I wouldn't be surprised if Fnatic would be able to take it. I'm going with Cloud9 simply based on that I'm not completely sold on Fnatic's ability to restrain Huni. The mistakes that he has right now are the same ones we saw him make during the entire LCS season, which were obviously few because of their undefeated season, but they never really got tested to the point of having to fix them, and I don't think they're going to do it now.
I'm also going to go with Cloud9 here. I feel like it's the polar opposite of Fnatic. You were saying they weren't tested. Cloud9 was tested all season long, and now they're proving they can bounce back, but they haven't even lost a game here. So Cloud9, for me, because not only do they have these compositions that seem to be working, they probably have a little bit more, but even if they get the same composition or don't get it, they still have those amazing shot calls to back them up.
And finally, Tabe?
I think I will choose Fnatic. I've deeply thought about a long time before choosing Fnatic. Why? Because it's simply because I think there is a really close game, last game. And I think, like Crum said, simply Huni is solo queuing, playing solo queue. And if Huni is take a deep breath and notice that all teammates are also very good. Professional gamers, we have to have team cooperation, coordination, they will succeed. And the next thing is, because they are red, purple side, right? The Gangplank bans and Mordekaiser bans are obvious, right? But I hope that Fnatic can have a little change in their mind to try banning the Morgana out. Why? Because I think Incarnation is good at Faker, right? Not world #1 Faker, but at the same time, his Azir is really good. That means if you ban Azir, they get Faker. You get Faker, they ban. If you ban Azir, if they other way round. And I don't think Fnatic's mid can play a good Faker too. So I think maybe banning out their Morgana and giving them whatever Lee Sin, Tristana, I don't care. I think the Morgana is the crucial one.
All right, well, we'll see if Cloud9 can keep their undefeated run alive in Worlds or if Fnatic can come back swinging. It's time to settle this one, and as we head to the casters for picks and bans, Yellowstar tells us how High breathed new life into a struggling Cloud9.
They capitalize so well on the map movement, and they play for objectives really well. And we know that High is prone to be a really good shot caller. Like we've seen that when he stepped in the gauntlet, he basically brought Cloud9 from the ground to the top, and they've been performing really well lately. And getting a win against them would mean a lot to us, and we have to get this win to perform for this day.
Welcome back.